fluff up your lion's mane and turn on the spotlight because it's time for the Leo full moon 2022. So welcome to this full moon reading for February of 2022. If you are unfamiliar with these readings, they happen on the new and full moon every month. We have two versions of each of these readings. The first is the abbreviated version that is available to the general public on YouTube, Instagram, and sometimes Facebook. And it is for the general collective with 3 to 4 oracle card readings to give us a general vibe for the moon at hand. After that, we have an extended reading that happens over at the Patreon, patreon.com/Michelle Shea. This is for those of you that watch the abbreviated reading and really feel resonance. So what is resonance? Resonance is when you're watching something and you're like, oh my God, she's telling me a story about my life. That is resonance, and that is a sign from your intuition that the message that this reading holds is for you. So if you feel that feeling during the first 4 cards, that's a good sign that you're really going to want to watch the rest of the reading because it's going to have information for you as well, and it happens over on the Patreon for monthly mystics and above. So this is a recent discount to this service. It used to be only at the higher level with the full-time fortune tellers. It's recently been bumped down to the monthly mystics because I want it to be accessible for all. So monthly mystics are an $11 membership. And with that membership, you not only unlock these extended versions of the new and full moon readings, you also get access to the full moon live tarot reading events that happen almost every month. And you also get access to the monthly tarot scopes that happen on the 1st and the weekly pick a card readings for all level members. So if that's something that resonates for you, again, if this reading feels familiar to you, that might be something that you want to check out. And of course, if you cannot support this channel in a monetary fashion, the best way to support content creators online is to like, share, subscribe, get the word out there, because that always helps to increase visibility, which is so important for those of us that are putting things out online for free in our spare time. It really helps to get things moving along. So without further ado, we are going to dive into our cards. We're going to start, as we always do, with the Total Betty Goddess deck. So the Total Betty Goddess deck is a deck of my creation. It is 90s icons as the goddesses because I wanted goddesses that I felt like I could relate to. So if you're a fan of 90s nostalgia, this might be a deck for you. It's available over at michellesheawalker.com as well as over on Etsy. And fingers crossed, the guidebook might be available on Amazon in the next couple of months. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and put a comment below and let me know that you want to be able to ship the Total Betty Goddess guidebook directly to your door via Amazon Prime, and I'll look into it. So our goddess of the month is going to just give us an overall energy of what this Leo full moon is about. So before we dive into this, I'm going to say right away, I'm a huge fan of Leo energy in general. I have a Leo Venus and a Leo Mercury. So the way that I love and the way that I communicate is very much in alignment with Leo qualities, which are just about being very complimentary and loving and supportive of those around them. I really think that Leos get a bad rap for being sort of vain and into themselves, and I don't think that's a bad quality to have, but I also think that so much of the Leo energy is about just being supportive. So being your own best cheerleader, but also being the best cheerleader for those around you. So if you have some Leos in your life, you are lucky, and I am very thankful for the Leos in mine. And I think we just had a card jump out while I was shuffling, so we're gonna see what one that was. Okay, so our goddess for this Leo full moon is Thetis, played by Sue Ellen Crandall on Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. So this feels like a really fitting card for a Leo moon because it is about boisterous fashion and fun and frivolity, but it's also about really like getting down to business and learning who you are. So if you haven't seen the movie Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, I recommend it. But the reason that this character is playing the goddess of Thetis is because Thetis is a shapeshifter. She knows how to sort of accommodate the situation that she finds herself in by being a little more malleable and shapeshifting. And Sue Ellen does that by lying on her resume and becoming an executive administrative assistant at a fashion company. So learning how to play a role and learning how to make your exterior fit the part that you're trying to play and really putting on a show feels very in alignment with Leo energy. But it also is kind of that beautiful thing of fake it till you make it, where you put on the costume, the outfit, and it influences how you feel internally. So right away, I'm going to say that this is a really great moon to work from the outside in on something that you're trying to change in your life. So if you've been trying to do a career pivot, or if you've just been trying to feel a little differently within your surroundings, look at how you are presenting yourself to the outside world in these situations, and you might want to tweak that, even if it feels a little off-brand. You don't want to go totally phony because people can sense that, but maybe go a little outside your comfort zone with the things that you are doing with your fashion, with your hair, and allow yourself to be almost a character, but still a little essence of yourself still in there. And through doing that, through embodying the look of what you're going for, you will actually probably find that your internal state shifts to match the way that you are now showing up in the world. So that's the first piece of advice that this Leo full moon has for us. We're now going to dive into the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck and see what our 3 cards have to say for us. So these next 3 oracle cards for the general public are the past, present, and future energy for this full moon. So we're going to see what kind of energy we're bringing in from before this full moon, what this actual full moon is bringing in for us, and what the aftermath of that will be. So our past is the bat. Our present as of this full moon is the lamb. And the future is the deer. So these actually play out with a very clear story. So I'm going to talk about this story. We are coming from the bat energy of our past, which is very much about the closing out of a chapter, the letting go of something, the moving on from something, the recognition that you're done with either a situation, a person, or a place in your life, and you're ready to move forward. So the thing about the bat is it is the closing of the chapter, but it's not necessarily the beginning of the new chapter just yet. It's definitely being in a place of in between. So if you felt like you've been in limbo over the past couple weeks or days leading up to this full moon, that was because something was ending. And I bet you can probably look back through those emotions and kind of pinpoint what it is that you were transitioning away from, even if it wasn't a conscious transition. This present of the moon is coming in with the lamb, which is giving us an opportunity to be quiet and still and wait for the sign of where to move forward. So it still might be a little bit of discomfort, but I think a lot of that is coming back to our oracle card of like dressing for the job you want, not the job you have, dressing for the part, whatever it is that you want to call it. But putting on that costume is happening in these quiet contemplation moments so that you can sort of subtly start to shift the energy into where you want to be without actually diving into the pool, without checking to see if there's water in there first. So there's definitely this sort of limbo that's happening, but it's a limbo for a purpose. It's a limbo for the purpose of getting quiet, of realigning your energy with who you're becoming. So it kind of is of interesting energy to come in with Leo, because Leo would be very much about like, I want to be seen and I want things to happen now. But the lamb is about sort of like not being as seen and letting things happen behind the scenes. So I think that this putting on a costume is going to be a good thing to do in the interim, because then you can still be seen in the outside world. You can still, you know, post on social media or whatever it is that you do to get your fix of the outside world checking in on you. But then you also have to make those times for that quiet contemplation as well, because that's what's going to shift you into the energy that's going to match the image that you are now presenting to the world. And again, we want to do this in a very like authentic way that's pushing the boundaries and might feel slightly uncomfortable, but doesn't feel fake or phony. You still want to make sure that you're being true to yourself, but also know that when you're redefining who you are, being true to yourself is something that's kind of malleable as well. So if you play around with different looks and they don't work, just move on. Like, let this lamb period be sort of your transition, your costume change, and things can get a little bit messy. If you've ever been in the theater, a quick costume change can get really messy behind the scenes, and that's what this is here for, is that you are shifting through the costume, shifting through the process of going into a different look, into a different character, and it's okay if it doesn't look perfect at first. You're gonna get it down. So consider this time your dress rehearsal to get that quick change like really tight and moving, so that whenever things do start to open up with this new beginning, you have that part of your process down. Because our near future is coming in with the Deer, which is a new beginning. It's a card that comes up a lot for like new parents or people that are birthing something new into the world. So there is, again, a very clear story here of closing out of a chapter, getting ready for the new chapter and realigning your energy for it and dressing for the part, and then actually moving into that new beginning. So the new beginning is coming, but you have to get comfortable with this in-between time in between, and you have to use it to your advantage in regards to how you are presenting yourself to the world. So if you have a website that needs tweaked and redone in this new image that you have for yourself, if you have, you know, new clothing that you need to get for yourself, if you have to redo your business cards to realign with this pivot that you're making, do it. Do all that in this process of the Leo moon. And it's going to be a beautiful time to do it too, because Leo is so concerned with image. So if you are redesigning things in your life, that Leo eye is going to be really key to getting things in the proper place. So don't turn your nose up at doing things behind the scenes, because you're still working on the things that are going to be presentational. So you can use that Leo energy in a different sort of way during this time period. So for those of you that do resonate with this reading, if you are pivoting in your career, if you are just trying to align yourself with a new version of yourself, even if it's not career related and you feel like you're feeling called to make yourself over, or if you are just closing out a chapter and beginning a new one and kind of feel this feeling of being in between things, the rest of this reading is probably going to resonate with you just as much, if not more, than these 4 cards. So again, if you're interested in that, head over to patreon.com/Michelle Shea and join at least the monthly Mystics. If you want to join the full-time fortune tellers, there are little gifts and rewards that come in place with that as well, so you can always do that upgrade. But the monthly Mystics and higher get access to these extended readings. And of course, I'm super thankful for any support you want to send my way. So those of you that are on the Patreon, or if you're joining the Patreon, thank you, thank you, thank you for supporting me and making these videos. And if you ever want to just do a one-off donation, you can Venmo me at Michelle Shea and just let me know that this is in support of the readings that I put out online. So for those of you that are already watching this on the Patreon and supporting this content on a regular basis, the rest of your reading with the Holly Simple Tarot deck starts right now.